My beloved child, before you do anything else, listen carefully to what I am about to say. This moment is not ordinary, and it is not appearing before you by accident. Long before this day arrived, I knew you would be here, reading these words at this exact time. I have watched every step you have taken, every battle you have fought, every tear you have hidden, and every prayer you have whispered when no one else was around to hear. There has never been a single moment when you were outside of my sight. You have been asking for answers. You have been searching for reassurance. Deep within your heart, you have wondered if I still hear your voice, if I still care about your struggles, and if I am truly working behind the scenes of your life. Today I want you to know that I hear every word. I see every burden. I know every fear that keeps you awake at night. Nothing about your life is hidden from me. There were moments when you felt abandoned. There were days when disappointment followed disappointment, and you questioned whether your faith was worth holding on to. You looked around and saw others moving forward while you remained in the same place. You wondered why your prayers seemed delayed and why the doors you knocked on remained closed. Yet even in those moments, I was working in ways your eyes could not see. I was protecting you from battles that would have overwhelmed you. I was redirecting paths that would have led you into pain. I was preparing blessings that required a stronger version of you to receive them. What felt like delay was often protection. What felt like silence was often preparation. What felt like rejection was often redirection toward something far greater than you imagined. My child, I know the weariness in your heart. I know how many times you smiled while carrying pain no one knew about. I know how often you told others you were fine while silently fighting battles within yourself. I saw the tears you wiped away before anyone could notice. I heard the prayers you spoke through trembling lips. I was beside you through every moment. You may think your story has been filled with too many setbacks, too many mistakes, and too many disappointments. But I tell you now that nothing has been wasted. Every trial has been shaping you. Every challenge has been strengthening you. Every season of waiting has been building something inside of you that could not have been formed any other way. Even the moments you regret, the decisions you wish you could change, and the paths you wish you had never taken are not beyond my ability to redeem. I am the God who restores. I am the God who brings beauty from ashes. I am the God who can take what seemed broken forever and transform it into a testimony that inspires others. So do not allow fear to control your future. Do not let yesterday convince you that tomorrow cannot be different. I am doing something new, even now. The ground beneath your feet is shifting. Circumstances that seemed impossible are beginning to change. Doors that appeared permanently closed are being prepared to open at the appointed time. But before you see the breakthrough with your eyes, you must first trust me with your heart. You must believe that I am still writing your story. You must remember that I have never abandoned you, and I never will. Hold on to this truth, because what I am about to reveal next will change the way you see everything you have been through. Because the struggles you have faced were never meant to destroy you. They were preparing you for a season that is now closer than you realize. My child, there are things happening around you that you cannot yet see. While you focused on the battles in front of you, I was already moving beyond them. While you worried about closed doors, I was creating new opportunities. While you feared that time was running out, I was arranging every detail according to my perfect plan. I know there were nights when you questioned your purpose. You looked at your life and wondered why the road seemed harder for you than for others. You compared your journey to those around you and felt left behind. But what you could not see was that I was building depth within you. The strongest trees are not the ones that grow the fastest. They are the ones whose roots reach deepest into the ground before they rise toward the sky. In the same way, I have been strengthening your foundation. I have been teaching you lessons that cannot be learned in comfort. I have been developing a faith that will remain standing when everything around you begins to shake. The process has not been easy, but it has been necessary. What I am preparing you to carry requires wisdom, patience, humility, and strength. There were people who walked away from your life and left wounds behind. You questioned why they left and what you did wrong. Hear me clearly now. Not everyone who leaves is a loss. Sometimes I remove people because they cannot go where I am taking you. Sometimes separation is protection. Sometimes what feels like heartbreak is actually the beginning of freedom. I know the disappointment you felt when plans failed. I know the frustration of investing your time, energy, and hope into things that did not work out. Yet those moments were not proof that I had forgotten you. They were evidence that I was guiding you away from paths that could never fulfill the purpose I placed upon your life. My child, you have survived things that should have broken you. You have carried burdens that others never knew existed. You have endured seasons that tested every ounce of your faith. Yet you are still here. You are still standing. That is not an accident. That is proof of my hand upon your life. The enemy wanted you to believe that your setbacks were signs of defeat, but I tell you the truth. They were preparation for victory. Every attack you endured has only strengthened your testimony. Every obstacle has taught you something valuable. Every delay has positioned you closer to the right timing. Now I need you to stop measuring your future by your past. Stop assuming that tomorrow must look like yesterday. Stop allowing old disappointments to define new possibilities. I am not limited by what happened before. I can change a situation in a single moment. I can open doors no person can shut. I can create opportunities where none seem to exist. You have asked me for a breakthrough, and I have heard your cry. You have asked me for direction, and I am leading you. You have asked me for strength, and I am supplying it even now. But before the next chapter unfolds, there is something important I need you to understand about the battle taking place within your own heart. Because the greatest battle has never been the one around you. It has been the one inside you, the battle between faith and fear, the battle between hope and discouragement, the battle between believing my promises and believing the voices that tell you nothing will ever change. My child, I know how loud those voices can become. They remind you of every mistake you have made. They replay every failure, every rejection, every disappointment. They try to convince you that you are not capable, not worthy, not strong enough for what lies ahead. They whisper that your best days are behind you and that your dreams have already passed you by. But those voices are not speaking the truth. The truth is that I created you with purpose. I placed gifts within you before you were ever born. I designed your life with intention. You were not created to live trapped by fear. You were not created to spend your days doubting your worth. You were not created to carry shame from a past that I have already forgiven. For too long, you have allowed old wounds to shape how you see yourself. You have looked at your scars and called them weaknesses, while I see them as evidence of your strength. You have looked at your struggles and called them failures, while I see them as proof that you refused to quit. You have focused on what went wrong, while I have been preparing what is about to go right. My beloved child, there is power in the way you think. The enemy understands this, which is why he fights so hard for your attention. If he can control your thoughts, he can influence your choices. If he can fill your mind with fear, he can keep you from walking boldly into the future I have prepared for you. That is why I am calling you to lift your eyes higher. Stop staring at the mountain and start looking at the one who created the mountain. Stop focusing on the size of the problem and start remembering the greatness of your God. Nothing that stands before you is greater than the power working on your behalf. I know there are situations in your life that seem impossible. I know there are questions you cannot answer and challenges you do not know how to overcome. But you do not have to carry those burdens alone. You were never meant to. Every time you try to control everything yourself, you exhaust your soul. Every time you surrender your worries into my hands, you make room for peace to enter your heart. My child, I am asking you to trust me at a deeper level than ever before. Trust me when you understand and when you do not. Trust me when doors open and when they remain closed. Trust me when the path is clear and when the next step seems hidden. True faith is not built when everything makes sense. True faith is revealed when you choose to believe even when you cannot see the outcome. There are opportunities waiting on the other side of your faith. There are miracles waiting on the other side of your willingness to keep moving forward. And as you prepare to take those steps, there is something even more important that I need to reveal to you about what is happening behind the scenes of your life right now, because while you have been focusing on what is visible, I have been working in places your eyes cannot reach. My child, there are battles I have already fought for you that you know nothing about. There are dangers I have already removed from your path. There are delays that protected you from pain you were never meant to experience. If you could see everything I have done behind the scenes, your heart would overflow with gratitude. You often ask why certain doors closed. You ask why some opportunities disappeared just when they seemed within reach. You ask why relationships ended, why plans changed, and why unexpected obstacles appeared in your path. But what you could not see was that I was guarding your future. What looked like a setback was often a rescue. What felt like disappointment was often divine protection. My beloved child, there were moments when you stood only one step away from decisions that would have led you into unnecessary pain. Yet I intervened. I redirected your course. I allowed certain things to fall apart because they were not strong enough to support the future I have prepared for you. It hurt at the time, and I know you struggled to understand it, but one day you will look back and see my wisdom in every detail. Even now, I am arranging circumstances in your favor. Conversations are happening that you know nothing about. Hearts are being softened. Opportunities are being prepared. Paths are being cleared. You may think nothing is changing because you cannot see immediate results, but do not mistake silence for inactivity. I am moving even when everything appears still. Remember how a farmer plants a seed and then waits. For a time, nothing appears above the ground. To an impatient eye, it seems as though nothing is happening. Yet beneath the surface, life is developing. Roots are growing deeper. Strength is being established. Preparation is taking place long before the first sign of growth becomes visible. That is exactly what has been happening in your life. The season you are in has been developing roots. It has been building strength where weakness once existed. It has been creating endurance, wisdom, and maturity that will support the blessings ahead. If everything had arrived the moment you asked for it, you would not have been ready to sustain it. But now I am preparing you differently. I know waiting has been difficult. I know there were days when you felt discouraged. You looked around and wondered why others seemed to move forward while you remained in place. But comparison has blinded you from seeing how much progress you have already made. You are not who you used to be. Your faith is stronger. Your understanding is deeper. Your perspective has changed. Growth has been happening even when you did not recognize it. My child, the next season of your life will require you to trust what I am doing before you see the evidence. It will require you to walk by faith instead of by sight. There will be moments when fear tries to return and convince you that nothing will change. When that happens, remember this: I have never failed you, and I never will. The same hand that carried you through your darkest days is the hand leading you into brighter ones. The same voice that comforted you in your pain is the voice calling you forward now. The same God who protected you yesterday is preparing blessings for your tomorrow. And what I am about to tell you next may be one of the most important truths you have ever heard, because it concerns the future that has been waiting for you all along. because the future I have prepared for you is greater than the fears that have tried to stop you. My child, there are promises over your life that have not expired. There are dreams you placed on the shelf because disappointment convinced you they would never happen. There are prayers you stopped praying because the waiting became too painful. Yet I tell you now, I have not forgotten a single promise I made to you. The world often teaches you to judge everything by what you can see. If progress is visible, you believe. If results are immediate, you trust. But my ways are higher than the ways of this world. I am not limited by human timelines. I am not restricted by circumstances. I am not defeated by obstacles. What seems impossible to you is still completely possible for me. You have spent too much time looking at what is missing instead of recognizing what is being built. Every challenge has added strength to your character. Every disappointment has increased your wisdom. Every season of waiting has expanded your capacity to receive what is coming next. Nothing has been wasted. There are moments in life when everything changes suddenly. Years of preparation can lead to a single breakthrough. Long seasons of waiting can give way to one opportunity that transforms everything. Doors that remained closed for years can open in a single day. Do not assume that because something has not happened yet, it never will. My beloved child, I need you to understand that your current circumstances do not define your future. What surrounds you today is temporary. The struggle is temporary. The confusion is temporary. The uncertainty is temporary. Even the mountains standing before you are temporary. But my promises remain. The enemy wants you to focus on what you lack. I want you to focus on what is possible. The enemy wants you to remember every reason to quit. I want you to remember every reason to keep going. The enemy wants you to believe the story is ending. I want you to understand that a new chapter is beginning. Lift your eyes beyond your present situation. There is more ahead of you than behind you. There are people you have not met yet who will encourage your journey. There are opportunities you have not discovered yet. There are blessings you have not imagined yet. There are answers already on their way, even though you cannot see them. My child, stop speaking defeat over your future. Stop agreeing with fear. Stop repeating the words that say nothing will ever change. Your words carry power. Speak life. Speak hope. Speak faith. Speak with expectation. Align your heart with my promises rather than your doubts. There will always be reasons to worry if you look for them. There will always be reasons to fear if fear is what you choose to focus on. But there will also always be reasons to trust me. Look at how far I have already brought you. Look at the battles you survived. Look at the obstacles you overcame. Look at the doors I opened when you thought there was no way forward. You are not standing at the end of your story. You are standing at the edge of a new beginning. And before that new beginning fully unfolds, there is a decision you must make within your heart, one that will determine how you step into the season that is now approaching faster than you realize. And that decision, my child, is whether you will continue carrying the weight of yesterday or finally trust me with your tomorrow. For too long, you have carried burdens that were never meant to remain on your shoulders. You have carried regrets from old mistakes. You have carried guilt from seasons that are already behind you. You have carried wounds from words spoken years ago, allowing them to shape how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. But I am calling you to release those burdens now. You cannot walk confidently into a new season while constantly looking over your shoulder at the old one. You cannot fully embrace the future while remaining chained to the pain of the past. The very things you have been trying to hold on to are the same things preventing you from moving forward with freedom. My beloved child, I know there are memories that still hurt. I know there are moments you wish you could erase. I know there are conversations you replay in your mind and decisions you wish had gone differently. But hear me clearly. Your past may explain where you have been, but it does not determine where you are going. The mistakes of yesterday do not have authority over your future unless you give them that authority. The failures of your past do not define your identity. The opinions of people who misunderstood you do not determine your worth. Your value comes from me, not from what happened to you, not from what others said about you, and not from the chapters that are already finished. I need you to stop punishing yourself for things I have already forgiven. Stop carrying shame that I never asked you to carry. Stop allowing old disappointments to convince you that you are unworthy of joy, peace, success, or blessing. My grace is greater than your failures. My mercy is stronger than your mistakes. My love for you has never depended on your perfection. There is freedom waiting for you on the other side of surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means giving over. It means placing your fears, your worries, your unanswered questions, and your future into hands that are stronger than your own. It means trusting that I can see what you cannot. It means believing that even when the path ahead is unclear, I am still leading you in the right direction. My child, there are blessings that cannot be received by a heart full of fear. There are opportunities that cannot be embraced by someone who is constantly looking backward. There are miracles that require the courage to step forward before all the details are visible. That is why I am asking you today to let go of what no longer belongs in your life. Let go of bitterness. Let go of resentment. Let go of self-doubt. Let go of the lies that tell you nothing will change. Make room for faith. Make room for hope. Make room for the peace that comes from knowing that your future is safely held in my hands. The days ahead will bring opportunities to trust me in ways you never have before. Some doors will open unexpectedly. Some answers will arrive when you least expect them. Some blessings will appear in forms you never imagined. But if you remain focused on the disappointments of yesterday, you may fail to recognize what I am placing before you today. So lift your head. Strengthen your heart. Release what has been holding you back. The season of carrying unnecessary weight is coming to an end. A new chapter is already beginning to unfold, and what I am about to reveal next will show you why everything you have experienced has been leading to this very moment, because nothing in your journey has been random. Every step, every delay, every victory, every disappointment, and every lesson has been part of a greater story that is still being written. My child, there were times when you thought your life was moving in circles. You wondered why certain battles kept returning, why certain prayers remained unanswered, and why progress seemed slower than you expected. But what appeared to be repetition was often preparation. I was teaching you things that could not be learned any other way. The strength you now possess was born from challenges you once prayed would disappear. The wisdom you carry today came from mistakes that taught you valuable lessons. The compassion in your heart was developed through pain that helped you understand the struggles of others. Even the hardest seasons have left gifts behind, though you may not have recognized them at the time. My beloved child, I have been building something within you that is far more valuable than temporary success. I have been shaping your character. I have been developing your faith. I have been teaching you how to stand firm when circumstances are uncertain. These qualities will carry you further than any earthly achievement ever could. There are people who only celebrate visible victories, but I celebrate the hidden growth that takes place long before anyone else notices. I saw you continue when quitting would have been easier. I saw you keep believing when doubt surrounded you. I saw you remain kind when others treated you unfairly. I saw every quiet act of faithfulness that no one else recognized. Nothing has escaped my attention. Every act of obedience matters. Every prayer matters. Every step taken in faith matters. Even when the results seem small, seeds are being planted, and seeds, when given time, always produce a harvest. Do not underestimate what I am doing in your life right now. Some of the greatest transformations begin quietly. They happen beneath the surface before they become visible to everyone else. Just because you cannot yet see the full picture does not mean the picture is not being painted. My child, there is a purpose attached to your story. The battles you survived will one day encourage someone else. The lessons you learned will guide others through their own struggles. The breakthrough you receive will become evidence that faith is never wasted. One day you will look back and understand why certain chapters unfolded the way they did. The very things that once caused you pain will become part of your testimony. The wounds that once made you question everything will reveal how faithfully I carried you through. The obstacles that seemed impossible will remind you of the strength I placed within you. Nothing is being wasted. Everything is being redeemed. That is why I need you to stop seeing yourself as someone who is merely surviving. You are not just surviving. You are becoming. You are becoming stronger. You are becoming wiser. You are becoming more confident in who I created you to be. Every season has been contributing to that transformation. And now, as you stand on the threshold of what is coming next, there is something important you must understand about the opportunities, blessings, and changes that are beginning to move toward your life even now, because the season ahead will not look like the season behind you. My child, many of the things you have been praying for are closer than they appear. The answers you have been seeking, the doors you have been waiting to open, and the breakthrough you have longed to see are already moving into position. What once seemed impossible is beginning to shift. But I need you to remain faithful during this transition. Too many people give up just before the harvest. They lose hope when the answer is near. They become discouraged when they cannot yet see the results of everything that has been happening beneath the surface. Do not allow that to happen to you. You have come too far to quit now. You have endured too much to turn back now. You have grown too much to settle for fear now. My beloved child, I am calling you into a season of expectation. Not fear, not worry, not constant doubt. Expectation. Begin to believe that good things are possible again. Begin to believe that your future can be brighter than your past. Begin to believe that the obstacles before you are not permanent. There are opportunities preparing to meet you. There are connections that will bring encouragement into your life. There are moments of favor that will remind you that I have been working all along. What seemed delayed is not denied. What seemed lost is not forgotten. What seemed impossible is still within my power. I know there were times when disappointment made you cautious. You stopped expecting too much because you were afraid of being hurt again. You guarded your hopes because previous setbacks left scars on your heart. But my child, if fear becomes your guide, it will prevent you from receiving what I am trying to place in your hands. Do not allow old pain to steal future joy. The chapter ahead requires courage. It requires faith that reaches beyond current circumstances. It requires trust that my plans are still good, even when the details are not fully visible. I am asking you to prepare your heart for increase, prepare your mind for possibility, and prepare your spirit for new opportunities. There are blessings that will arrive unexpectedly. There are answers that will come from directions you never considered. There are solutions being arranged right now that will make sense only when you look back and see how perfectly everything came together. My timing has never failed, and it will not fail you now. The enemy wants you to focus on what has not happened yet. I want you to remember what I have already done. Remember every challenge you survived. Remember every prayer I answered. Remember every moment when you thought there was no way forward, yet somehow a path appeared. Those moments were not accidents. They were reminders that I remain faithful. My child, the next season is not merely about receiving blessings. It is also about becoming the person capable of stewarding them well. Continue growing. Continue trusting. Continue walking forward. Do not become distracted by temporary setbacks or discouraged by short delays. Keep your eyes on me, because what I am about to reveal next is the promise that will carry you through every challenge, every opportunity, and every season that lies ahead. And this promise, my beloved child, is the foundation beneath everything I have spoken to you. No matter what happens around you, no matter what challenges arise, no matter how uncertain the road ahead may seem, you will never walk it alone. I have been with you from the beginning, and I will remain with you until the very end. There will be days of celebration and days of testing. There will be moments when your faith feels strong and moments when it feels fragile. There will be seasons when everything seems to fall into place and seasons when questions remain unanswered. But through every one of those moments, my presence will remain constant. People may come and go. Circumstances may change. Opportunities may appear and disappear. But my love for you does not fluctuate with the conditions of your life. It does not grow weaker during difficult seasons. It does not become distant when you struggle. My love remains steadfast, faithful, and unchanging. My child, there are times when you will be tempted to measure my presence by your feelings. You will think that because you cannot feel me, I must be far away. But feelings are not always reliable. There were moments in your past when you felt completely alone. Yet I was carrying you through situations that should have overwhelmed you. There were moments when you thought your strength had run out, yet somehow you found the courage to continue. That was not an accident. That was my hand sustaining you. I want you to remember this when future challenges arise. Do not panic when answers take time. Do not lose hope when progress seems slow. Do not assume that silence means abandonment. Some of my greatest works happen quietly. Some of my most powerful answers arrive after seasons of waiting. Trust me enough to believe that I am still working, even when you cannot yet see the results. My beloved child, there is greatness within you that you have not fully discovered yet. There are gifts you have not fully developed. There are strengths you have not fully recognized. There are opportunities ahead that will require you to step beyond the limits you once placed on yourself. Do not shrink back when those moments come.